Top of the hour, we continue to follow that shocking story coming out of Williamsville tonight, alleging an elaborate Ponzi scheme that led to investors losing millions of dollars. Good evening, I'm Scott Levin.
And I'm Mary Ellis Demler. A lawsuit filed last week alleges that Woodhill Capital manipulated or even fabricated investment opportunities over the last 6 years. Court records show investors lost at least $13 million, but that figure could grow as more victims come forward.
Join Your Side's Nate Benson broke that story for us last night. He has the latest for us tonight. Nate?
Yeah, good evening, Scott and Mary Ellis. A legal expert I spoke to said that the investor lawsuit alleging a Ponzi scheme orchestrated by Woodhill Capital likely sparked a federal investigation that led to the FBI searching their offices earlier this week. $115,000, $359,000. $703,000, $4.5 and $5.5 million. Those are just some of the estimated losses of a few of the 14 plaintiffs that filed a lawsuit against Woodhill Capital in Williamsville last Friday, alleging the firm orchestrated a Ponzi scheme that led to a total of $13.3 million to disappear from investors.
To think about losing that much from an individual investment standpoint is tremendous.
As we first reported on Wednesday, Woodhill Capital staff would allegedly solicit investors an opportunity to fund equipment leases that businesses sought financing for. But the lawsuit alleges that the loans were either manipulated or fabricated altogether.
Sadly, it is pretty textbook in its allegations, and that's probably something that we don't like being able to say. After the Madoff days, when we start thinking in terms of now these Ponzi schemes we would have hoped have dissipated.
UB law professor Christine Bartholomew says that what ends up happening in schemes like the one Woodhill Capital is alleged to have operated is eventually the whole thing collapses.
Have a Ponzi scheme where you have a loan kind of arrangement here, and then finally there's just not enough money to pay off even partially return payments to investors.
According to court documents, the scheme collapsed on March 10th of this year when payments to investors halted. 14 investors filed a lawsuit on April 3rd alleging the scheme and losses. Then, April 7th, the FBI searches the offices of Woodhill Capital.
This one's interesting to me because you first had a private lawsuit that was preceding the criminal investigation. That's a flipped order. Usually we end up seeing these criminal investigations and then what we call tag-along or follow-on lawsuits.
Right now, the U.S. Attorney for the Western District is neither confirming nor denying an investigation into Woodhill Capital, but the FBI search was court-ordered.
It's possible that that's where the investigation is coming, and I was a little surprised that the lawsuit's been filed in state court, not in federal court.
But that isn't to say criminal charges are not on the horizon. As for the lawsuit, Judge Emilio Koliakovo issued a temporary restraining order against Woodhill Capital on Wednesday, freezing some of their accounts and prohibiting them from transferring funds.
Well, to get a TRO is actually kind of a big deal. It is a hard burden of proof to be able to freeze funds like that. So there's something that we haven't seen, you and I haven't seen yet, that the judge was privy to that does make the situation concerning.
Once again, I reached out to the attorney for Woodhill Capital for comment. They have not yet responded to my inquiry. On Your Side, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.
Nate, know you'll stay on that story for us. Thank you.